Hello, this is Angie with the Country Chic Cottage, and I'm here today with Craft Foam 101. If you've ever wondered what those different types of foam you see in the craft store or online craft stores, I'm here to tell you the differences. So I'm going to start with floral foam. So floral foam is for dry silk flower arrangements or fresh flower arrangements, and there's two different types actually. So you see this green foam in the craft store or online, and one is actually for wet and it's called fresh foam, and the other is actually for dry floral arrangements and it's desert foam. So depending on which one you are making, you need to pick the right foam. The wet foam actually is designed to wick moisture up through the foam and keep your flowers fresh. I was going to show you, it's actually really soft, like really soft. If you could see, my finger went right in there. In contrast with the dry version, which is this one, and it's for more artificial flowers, and it's still soft, but I really have to press to get my finger in there. So be sure to pick up the right one. And then when you're picking them up, they come in different shapes and sizes. These are a couple of examples. But I also have one for dry right here that's actually circles. I should have opened these packages, huh? They're actually round circles all in a package. So depending on your project, pick the right size as well. So next we have Styrofoam. So that's the most popular, I think, brand name. And it comes in a variety of shapes and sizes. I have one right here, which is one of my favorites, is sheets. And I'll get to how you cut it in a minute. But they also have, of course, Styrofoam balls, cones, and also under the Styrofoam name they have an extruded foam. So if you wanted a smoother foam like this wreath shape, you can get an extruded foam in the Styrofoam brand. So in contrast to Styrofoam, there is Durafoam. And these are smooth-sided Styrofoam, comes in cones, shaped like these stars. So the differences, if you were to have a Styrofoam cone next to a Durafoam cone, the obvious difference is the texture. So the Styrofoam cone is bumpy and has all kinds of air pockets, whereas the Durafoam cone is smooth. So there's drawbacks and benefits to both of these. If you're painting the surface, you would either have to treat the Styrofoam surface to get a really good surface to paint on, or you can paint directly on the Styrofoam. Now when we're talking about painting any type of craft foam, be sure you're using water-based craft paint. Do not use spray paint on this. It will actually have a chemical reaction and your foam will shrink and your project will not turn out great. So be sure to use the right type of paint as well. So for any type of project, I have a few projects here. For this type of project where I've stuck items into and it's actually half a foam ball in this clay pot, and I actually use Styrofoam in this case. Anytime I'm sticking anything into the foam, I like to use Styrofoam. The Durafoam tends to sort of fall apart when you stick something inside of it. Let me see if I can demonstrate. So I stuck my pin in there, and yes, it's fine for now, but when I remove it, there's a huge hole there. And if I needed to go back, so I needed to move it just a little bit, the pin is loose. However, on the Styrofoam, I can stick it in, it's secure. When I pull it out, I can actually move it over just a little bit, and it's just as secure. So for me, the Styrofoam is the brand to use if I'm going to be inserting any type of thing into the foam for the craft I'm making. I do like, say, these Durafoam stars for a patriotic craft or something. This surface would be perfect to paint on. The Styrofoam just uses a lot of paint, and you can still see that texture when you get done painting with it. So try Durafoam for your painting projects. However, if you love Styrofoam, say you need to paint it and you're going to be sticking something in it, this is really the brand for you. There's also a smooth finish product, and this is made by the same people that make Styrofoam, and you just apply it to your Styrofoam surface, and it will actually make a smooth, paintable coating. It's sort of like, almost like putty, and you just apply it, allow it to dry, and you'll have a paintable surface. So that's one tip. Another tip is cutting any type of Styrofoam or Durafoam product. You could use like a serrated knife. This is a plastic one. This type of manual instrument does not work as well on the Durafoam. You're going to use it on like a Styrofoam product. However, there are battery and electric operated Styrofoam cutters, and this is one version, and they all use a wire. These will cut any type of foam. So any type of foam that you would want to cut, this is the way to go. Especially if you have a big project doing a lot of things, I would recommend investing in a cutter. And one other type of foam I wanted to mention. We talked about tons of shapes and sizes. There's tons of specialty foams. Everything from this topiary, so it already has a ball on top, and a plant pot-shaped base on the bottom with a stick in between. So anything from this topiary to foam heads to the stars I showed you. Foam can come in so many different shapes that the possibilities are endless with your crafting. However, if you want to make your own custom shape, I would recommend, again, this electric foam cutter and some of these huge sheets. And this is my favorite part of Styrofoam, is getting these huge sheets and making my own shapes. Just, your imagination is the limit. So, again, to wrap up, the green foam is generally for floral arrangements, and you have dry for your silks and wet for any type of fresh flower arrangement. Again, be sure to pick the right one, so you want your fresh flowers to stay alive as long as possible. And then Styrofoam, again with the surface that is imperfect or has all kinds of, it has a rough texture. Durafoam, which has a smoother surface, but still a little rough if you can see against the camera. So be sure to keep that in mind when you're picking your foam. And then, again, Styrofoam, huge sheets, you can make your own shapes. This is actually a piece of Styrofoam just wrapped like a canvas. And it was one project I just grabbed around my home. I like Styrofoam and like crafting with it, so I have tons of projects around the house. So pick the right kind of foam and the right kind of paint to go along with your foam. Keep in mind the extra products that are available to alter your foam, and get crafty. Thanks. Bye.